Today we're going to read into chapter 5, Melanin, Gift of the Cosmos by Jade Asikiwe. Chapter 5, Your Responsibility to Harness Your Abilities from Melanin. Stop for a moment. Think of how you are living your life. How are people going to remember you? How are people going to remember you when you are dead and gone? Will anyone but your family know your name? Will you have made an impact on the people of the world? As an intelligent being, you have a responsibility to ensure that when you are lying on your deathbed, people are remembering your legacy. By reading this book and learning of the incredible life you are blessed to experience, you place yourself in the footsteps of your ancestors. This depth is the depth of doing what you can to lay the foundation for the future, to be part of the great change that will occur in the world when knowledge of self is restored. Your responsibility, what you owe the world. There is not any single physical thing or gift that you can give the world for it to suffice as your mark on the world. That which you owe the world is not a physical thing, but the use of your free will. Your responsibility is to use your melanin, is to use your knowledge for the greater good. We are creatures of light, love, and peace. When you die, there are two possible scenarios. In the first, you are remembered by all those that love you. They are not sad merely because your physical body is passing on, but because they remember all that you have done in life. They are remembering how you have used your own intellectual wealth in the power that comes along with it to help those that you could. They are remembering all the great ideas that have flowed forth from your mind and all the memorable words that you have given. They are remembering how great you are and how all the world will be at a loss once you have breathed your last breath. The second scenario is a sad one. You may still be surrounded with those that love you, but you will not see them. Instead, you are going to see all the ideas that you had surrounding you. You are going to see all the things that you wish you had said and wished you had done to leave an impact on the world. In this scenario, your room is full of all the ifs of your life. It is full of all the things that could have been. It is full of all those kids who may have tried harder had you shared your story, or those people who were not helped by the incredible ideas that you kept into your head because you always thought there would be more time. There is no single place on earth that is wealthier than the graveyard. The graveyard is filled with the unlimited potential of all the people who had been laid to rest without leaving their mark on the world. It is filled with the unrealized dreams of all that lie there, of the speeches that were never given, and the inventions that were never created because the person lying in that graveyard believed they had more time. Your responsibility to the world is to stop holding back. Stop letting races that believe they are greater than you tell you that you are not enough. Stop letting people tell you that you cannot go further, or you cannot embrace your dreams because you are not good enough, or smart enough, or strong enough. Refuse to accept the lie pushed onto those of the African race. The lie that you must wait for others to open doors for you before you can realize your dreams. You are enough, and you will be enough, regardless of what others think or say. The power of melanin has been hidden for a long time, but it is time for it to be realized. It is time for people rich in this black creative matter of the universe to step forth and start making the changes that are necessary in the world. Stop now and realize this. The few paragraphs that follows are among the most important in this book. Read these and know that they are the truth. Read these and feel the power flow through you. Feel the melanin express in your being and experience it as you never before. Let's read that again. Feel the melanin express in your being and experience it as you never have before. Think of all your ideas and your thoughts that you may have wanted to imprint on the world but didn't. because you did not think anyone would listen, or because you thought that it was not your place. Perhaps you lack the motivation and energy. Realize the following words and know that you do have the power to change the world as soon as you start to take advantage of the benefits embedded in your mind. People of African descent have the power of melanin in every single cellular structure that exists in our being. It makes up our bodies and it flows through our blood. Melanin is condensed sunlight, full of intelligent information. By refusing to realize and use this gift, we allow the world around us to put us under their oppression. The oppression we face in our lives comes from external sources, but we have the power of deciding if we want to accept it. When you let the negative energy around you shape who you are, it acts as an oppressive force, and you respond by limiting yourself. Instead of creating yourself out of the creative intelligence and brilliance that lives within your melanated mind, you created yourself in their oppressive image. In this way, you defeated yourself, or you defeat yourself. Make the decision to stop this oppression. Make the decision to create your own energy frequency. Do not create energies based on what you are told you may have, but rather what you want. Create your own frequency and then create your own energy. Project a positive mindset and become who you are meant to be from that moment of conception in your life. It is when you make this decision, the decision to become who you are meant to be and to start imparting your unique energy and your love in the world around you, that you can change the world. You must use your intellectual wisdom to do great things. Using this wisdom in your creativity in conjunction with the power of free will, you can reach that higher frequency. To operate on this higher frequency, you must shut out the world and become who you are within. Refuse to live in millennial environments. Let's read that again. Refuse to live in menial environments and accept less than what you deserve. Raise your expectations and raise your frequency, and watch as the universe comes to your beckoning. Watch as the universe responds to this higher frequency and responds to your desires, changing the world around you. Do this for yourself and then do this for your people, demanding what you deserve from life and make change. As you do this, remember, it is a lie that you are inferior. It is a lie that you must wait around to be handed things and that you must wait for doors to be opened for you. Know that the melanin that flows through your blood and fills your every cell of your body is chemical evidence of your greatness. Acknowledge its presence and embrace it. Take complete advantage of it and know that with your conscience you can create the reality of your world. Understanding and overcoming racism. It has been proven time and time again that as children, we are born without hate. Children and animals in infancy, from that first breath on the planet, hate no one and no thing. Racism, therefore, is a learned thing. Or is it? Why is it that so many people are willing to hate? While racism is learned, it is also something that has been ingrained in history. As humans have evolved, so have our brains. Even so, there is an ancient part of the brain, the oldest part that exists, that is designed specifically for survival. It is this part of the brain that is required to detect anything that is potentially dangerous or that seems off. When detected, the mind creates a fight or flight reaction by pumping hormones like adrenaline and cortisol through the body. While the mind has evolved, this part of the brain exists. It hides, lurking in the depths, but still sometimes affecting what goes on in the subconscious mind. It is by understanding this ancient part of the brain that you can begin to understand the racism that exists in the world and why. Do you remember the Dogon tribe of Mali and the Europeans that exist not long after? Do you remember how much more advanced the Dogons were, knowing of things that the Egyptian had only just started to explore. This incredible knowledge that was so advanced for their time period that it could only be inferred that they were superior. Unfortunately, instead of seeking to learn from the intellectual power and creative prowess of the blacks, other societies tried to oppress it. They were not impressed by it, but terrified. Terrified of what melanated beings could do if they chose to stand together as one. The outward hostility that whites show towards black goes beyond that of a fear of losing wealth. It is theorized that whites may act as this way because of their wealth and their interest in protecting their own wealth, but this is not the case. This racism has been deeply ingrained in the most ancient part of the mind out of fear. Early people knew that blacks were the creator of the other races, that it was the pigment, the melanin that gave them their power. They knew that our genetic makeup was different and that it was dominant, let's read that again. They knew that our genetic makeup was different and that it was dominant, that it was our pigment that would shine through should we make children with someone of a lighter pigment. Once it was uncovered that the existence of melanin was greater in those of African descent and that melanin plays both biological and cosmic roles in the universe, it is no surprise that this greatness was oppressed. It is this melanin, not because of our skin color, but because of our minds, that it is the greatest secret. Fight or flight in Africanism. People who argue against oppression may point to celebrities or politicians that are African as examples of success. But these examples have many layers to them. The elite societies do not fear people of color rising to position of power or being given opportunities because they still are not united as a whole. In addition, our history is scattered about the earth. The true root of the fear is that melanated beings will discover their true selves. In the times of white supremacy, blacks were robbed of their identity. They were dictated as to what they should do, how it should be done, and even who they should be as a person. By accepting this as our history and by continuing to remain ignorant of our origins, we continue to be subservient to our supremacist ideas. Let's read that again. Pardon me. By accepting this as our history and by continuing to remain ignorant of our origins, we continue to be subservient to a supremacist idea. Even though we are past the time of slavery, blacks are still enslaved because they adhere to the labels and guidelines that have been forced upon them by society. In other words, defeat the system by rising above the system. Empower your mind and spread knowledge and love throughout the universe. These guidelines were put into place for a reason. Make no mistake, your true identity has been hidden. However, the second that we begin to understand ourselves, our relation to the universe, the creative and intellectual power that exists within us, we begin to heighten our consciousness. People will emit negative energy regardless. They may tell you to limit yourself or be reserved in your actions. Do not stop. Refuse to let your creation go uninvented, and refuse to let your words go unheard. Create and speak. Remember that you are powerful beings of the cosmos. The incredulity of your being. The first step in realizing our The first step in realizing our incredulity of realizing the potential that we have is realizing how unique we truly are. Consider the structure of your cellular body. Did you know that every second you are alive, your body replaces 10 millions of these melanin-rich cells with stronger, healthier replacement for the old cells? Within 3 months, every single cell that makes up your current structural being will be gone, but you will still exist. This is because you are made of supreme intelligent design. Even with evolution in your ever-changing body, you remain uniquely you. Your form is not randomly acquired. Therefore, your existence is not a mere mistake. It happened for a reason, and by refusing to seek to learn that reason and refusing to learn what impact it is you can make on the world, you are cheating yourself and all those who sacrificed before you, who walked before you, and who will walk after you. There is no thing or creation or event in this world that is accidental. There is not a single thing that happens just because. Cause and effect is always at play. The moment you realize this, you will stop becoming the effect and you will start creating the cause. As you do this, you become the cause in your life, and what you reap as a result becomes the effects. Step into the role of your design and begin to act as a person fulfilling that design should act. The evidence of your greatness is all around you. Look around at the people who have adapted your culture. Look at the music, foods, inventions, and culture that were wholly African but have been adopted by other cultures without the slightest acknowledgement. Know this occurs because they are attracted to your frequency. Know that this is your greatness and continue to strive. Strive first as an individual and then as a group, using your thoughts and creations and those thoughts and creations of other spiritual beings to assure your rightful place in the world at last. The final thing that you must remember as you go on to become all that you are capable of is that even with the higher knowledge comes responsibility. Let's read that again. The final thing that you must remember as you go on to become all that you are capable of is that even with higher knowledge comes responsibility. Do not try to take from or oppress others on your quest to greatness. Know that as you interact, we are all different but important. No person is superior, but we should all have our rights to succeed and excel in this world. Simply refuse to accept any labels that is pushed upon you. Do not accept the mediocrity or the just living that is afforded to you. Instead, use the vibrational energy that has been gifted to you. Use the vibrational energy that has been gifted to you since the moment of your creation to branch out and create your own reality. And that is the end of chapter 5. Alright, see you again next time.